Hello everyone. Today I'm scrapbooking with the Legendary Collection from Coco Vanilla, and I'm scrapbooking these photos of my husband and I out on a little date about a month ago. Um, the area that we live in was doing really well as far as COVID-19 goes, and we hadn't had any um, cases of COVID in about 60 days. And so we were allowed to go out to restaurants and stuff like that. We still had to wear our masks and everything, but we were allowed to go out. Um, so this was this was like our first outing since we were quarantined. Um, we went out, we got sushi and took it home actually because we still weren't allowed to dine in restaurants, but we were allowed to get takeout. So we got sushi. We went to one of our favorite stores, which is a place called Manga Soku. Um, they sell things like retro video games and anime figures and just little nerdy things like that. So we went out exploring and just had a good time. It was like a kid-free date, which we haven't had in a while. And so here I'm just cutting down. I took a piece of Echo Park cardstock. It's like a navy blue. And I took one of the pattern papers from the Legendary Collection, that one with the triangles on it. And I just cut it down so there would be like a half-inch border around the paper. And then I cut down that yellow paper. It took me a couple of tries to get it to the size that I wanted it to be. But I finally got it. I wanted it to be slightly skinny and tall. And then I'm taking that rainbow paper and I want to add that as a pop of color to the layout. I originally had it a piece that was just showing that yellow, orange, and red hue, so I decided to use a strip that had all the different hues on it to give it more of a rainbow effect. And for those pictures, I just printed smaller, like pocket-sized pictures, and basically just made a little film strip of all the pictures. And I didn't show it in the video, but I did ink the edges with vintage photo, and I also went ahead and adhered everything down. And now I'm just going through my embellishments that I plan on using for this layout. I, of course, am using the Legendary Collection embellishments along with some Simple Stories Bro& Co. Embellishments, and also some embellishments from a boyish type collection from Jilly Bean. I'm sorry, I don't recall the name of that particular collection right now. And here I'm just sorting through all these embellishments and pulling what I want to use. I know that I definitely want to use the little pennant flags and some stars. And these embellishments are from the Bro& Co. From by Simple Stories. And then there was this little vintage like Super Nintendo video game and a Nintendo like console, and I wanted to use those because, like I said, we're out at Manga Soku. My husband is a retro video game collector, so he obviously collects retro video games, and so that's what he usually looks for when we go out to Manga Soku is like um, Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Famicom and game different types of older games. And I'm just deciding on where I want these embellishments placed. I know that I want them on the page because they go with the story that I'm telling, but that Nintendo console was just such an awkward size, and it was like a awkward angle. It was really hard to work with. So I'm just moving everything around. That Let's Go sticker is from the legendary sticker sheet that you can see on the side of my desk. I'm still playing around with that Nintendo console, trying to get it to work. Eventually, I decide that it's just too big for the page and it's not going to work, and that I have the Nintendo cartridge, so that's good enough for the storytelling portion. And at first, I was gonna use these. They look like the buttons on a video game pad or on a controller pad. I was gonna use these. They're from Jelly Bean, but I decided against using them because I just wasn't getting the look that I wanted with this layout. I try all kinds of different things with this layout. Next, you're going to see me pull some of these hexagons. Again, these are also from Jelly Bean. And I'm going to pull them and kind of try to do something similar to my Harry Potter layout. I'll link that in the corner above or down below so you can see what I'm talking about if you're not sure. But on that layout, I had like circles that held embellishments, and I was kind of going to do the same thing on this layout, have the hexagons just hold different embellishments, but the embellishments ended up being the same size of the hexagons, so it just didn't look right. So I decided to just go with embellishment clusters instead. And here you can see the clusters are finally starting to come together. I have a star in each cluster, and I've got that retro video game embellishment in the layout. And now I'm just showing you that I had these little cutout tabs, and I noticed that they were all the same colors that are in that rainbow paper. So I added some of the little text stickers to them that kind of go along with the story I'm telling, and I just lined them up um, to go along with that rainbow pattern in that paper. And my title is going to be Free from Quarantine. It was originally going to be straight out of quarantine, but none of my stickers, I didn't have enough like N's or A's or something. I don't know. Quarantine takes up a lot of letters. So it just wasn't working. So I went with Free from Quarantine. And I decided that I wanted to place my title on the side instead of at the bottom, just to change it up a little bit from my other layouts. And you can see I usually put my title on vellum paper and then try it out in different places on the layout if I'm not sure where I want it to go. And that usually gives me a good idea what it's going to look like on the actual layout. And you can see I added some photo corners just to make that triangle paper pop a little bit more. And I was trying to fit this rainbow paper underneath the yellow paper to go along with the other side to make it more cohesive, but I ended up having to cut the strip a little bit smaller because if I lifted up that yellow paper, all of my thickers were gonna come off. So I just cut it a little bit thinner and made it look like it's coming out of the yellow paper. And then I added that little graph paper down at the bottom. That's going to be my area where I do my journaling. And I'm just adding some enamel dots just for that to add more of a pop of green to the page because I've got all the colors in that rainbow paper going on except for green. I don't really have a lot of green going on, so I wanted to add the green enamel dots. And then I tried this little golden paper clip. I think I tried that in my last process video as well, and it just didn't work. Eventually, I'm gonna get that on a layout. But you can see I just showed you some washi tape. I'm pulling some of my thinner washi tape, and I'm gonna kind of tape this like this text area down, this little graph paper area. I'm taping it down to make it look more like it's just like a piece of note paper being stuck down. And then I'm adding some more decorative washi tape. I've been using a lot of washi tape lately, and I feel like I'm late to the party because when everybody was using a lot of washi tape, I just didn't see the appeal of it. It didn't fit my style. And now I'm just using washi tape like all the time. So here are some pictures of my finished layout. There's some close-up shots along with the full 12 by 12 layout. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. Bye.